The death or resignation of a pope ushers in a period of profound significance for the Catholic Church. It is a time of mourning for the departed pontiff, a spiritual leader revered by millions worldwide. As the Church reflects on his legacy, preparations begin for the momentous task of electing his successor. The weight of history and tradition hangs heavy as the world awaits the selection of a new Holy Father. The passing of a pope triggers a period known as Latin for the seat being vacant. During this interregnum, the governance of the Church is entrusted to the College of Cardinals. The Chamberlain of the Holy Roman Church, a senior cardinal, assumes a caretaker role, overseeing the day-to-day affairs of the Vatican. However, his authority is limited, as major decisions and appointments are deferred until the election of the new pope. The College of Cardinals, comprising those appointed by previous popes, bears the responsibility of electing the new pontiff. These men, often referred to as princes of the Church, come from diverse backgrounds and represent the global reach of Catholicism. Their task is not merely to choose a leader, but to discern through prayer and deliberation the individual best suited to guide the Church in the years ahead. The period is marked by a sense of anticipation and uncertainty. While the Church continues its mission, a palpable void remains until a new shepherd is chosen for the flock. The world watches, curious and expectant, as the ancient rituals and traditions surrounding the papal election unfold. Following the death or resignation of a pope, the College of Cardinals swings into action. Cardinals from around the world, summoned by tradition and duty, converge on Rome. They leave behind their dioceses and responsibilities, drawn to the heart of the Catholic Church for this momentous occasion. The world watches as these men, clad in their distinctive red robes, arrive in the Eternal City, their presence a tangible sign of the impending papal conclave. The journey to Rome is not merely a physical one, but a spiritual pilgrimage. Cardinals use this time for prayer and reflection, preparing themselves for the solemn task ahead. They carry with them the hopes and prayers of the faithful they represent, acutely aware of the gravity of their responsibility. As they gather in Rome, the cardinals engage in informal consultations, discussing the challenges facing the Church and the qualities needed in the next pope. The number of cardinals eligible to vote in a papal conclave is limited to those under the age of 80. This rule, established to ensure a balance between experience and vitality, reflects the Church's desire for a leader who is both wise and capable of guiding the Church into the future. The cardinals, representing a diverse range of backgrounds, experiences and theological perspectives, embody the universality of the Catholic Church. As the cardinals converge on Rome, the city buzzes with activity. Media from across the globe descend upon the Vatican, eager to report on every development. The eyes of the world are fixed on this ancient ritual, a testament to the enduring legacy and global influence of the Catholic Church. The stage is set for the conclave, a process shrouded in secrecy and steeped in tradition, where these men will elect the 267th successor to St. Peter. The Sistine Chapel, renowned for its breathtaking Michelangelo frescoes, takes on a different kind of grandeur during a papal conclave. Transformed from a renowned tourist destination into a closed and sacred space, it becomes the secluded venue for the cardinals' deliberations and voting. The outside world is held at bay, the chapel's doors sealed to ensure absolute secrecy. Before entering the conclave, the cardinals swear solemn oaths of secrecy, vowing to keep confidential all matters discussed and voted upon within the chapel walls. This commitment to confidentiality is taken very seriously, intended to protect the integrity of the election process and allow the cardinals to vote freely without outside influence or pressure. The weight of history and tradition permeates the very air of the Sistine Chapel. The cardinals, housed within the Vatican during the conclave, are cut off from the outside world. Newspapers, television, telephones, and internet access are strictly prohibited, ensuring their focus remains solely on the task at hand. This isolation, while perhaps seeming austere to outsiders, is designed to foster an environment of prayer, reflection, and discernment, free from the distractions of the modern world. As the cardinals gather within the Sistine Chapel, they are surrounded by the beauty and grandeur of Michelangelo's masterpieces. The Last Judgment dominating the altar wall serves as a potent reminder of the solemnity of their task and the accountability they hold before God and history. It is within this hallowed space, amidst sacred rituals and under the watchful gaze of centuries past, that the cardinals will cast their votes, seeking to discern God's will for the future of the Church. The first ballot in a papal election marks a pivotal moment, the culmination of days of prayer, reflection, and informal consultations. The cardinals, gathered in the austere grandeur of the Sistine Chapel, prepare to cast their votes, each one acutely aware of the gravity of the task before them. The weight of history and the hopes of millions rest on their shoulders as they seek to discern God's will for the next leader of the Catholic Church. The voting process is steeped in tradition, a blend of solemnity and secrecy designed to ensure the freedom and integrity of the election. Each cardinal, called by name in order of seniority, approaches the altar, holding aloft a rectangular ballot paper inscribed with the words "Eligo in summum pontificem," which translates to "I elect as Supreme Pontiff." In a clear voice, he then speaks the name of his chosen candidate, invoking the Holy Spirit for guidance with the words, "I call as my witness Christ the Lord, who will be my judge, that my vote is given to the one who before God I judge should be elected." After each cardinal has cast his vote, the ballots are meticulously counted by 3 appointed scrutineers. The total number of votes cast must correspond precisely to the number of electors present, ensuring the integrity and accuracy of the process. If the count reveals any discrepancy, the ballots are burned and the voting process begins anew. This meticulous attention to detail underscores the importance placed on maintaining the sanctity and validity of the election. The first ballot rarely produces a decisive result. It serves more as an initial sounding board, a way for the cardinals to gauge the level of support for different candidates. As the ballots are burned, the world watches for the telltale smoke signals emanating from the Sistine Chapel chimney, black smoke signifying an inconclusive vote, a sign that the journey to elect a new pope continues. Section 5. Scrutiny and counting, unveiling the cardinal's choice. The scrutiny, the process of examining and counting the ballots in a papal conclave, stands as a moment of heightened tension and anticipation. The cardinals, having cast their votes in secret and solemn silence, await the outcome, their prayers mingling with the hopes of the faithful worldwide. The fate of the papacy for a brief period rests in the balance as the scrutineers meticulously carry out their duty. 3 cardinals, chosen by lot from among their brethren, assume the role of scrutineers, tasked with the critical responsibility of verifying, counting, and announcing the results of each ballot. With utmost care and precision, they unfold each ballot, reading aloud the name inscribed within. A designated secretary records each vote, while a third scrutineer tallies the votes on a separate sheet, ensuring accuracy at every step. Once all the ballots have been read and tallied, the scrutineers carefully sum the votes for each candidate. A hush falls over the Sistine Chapel as they compare their figures, verifying that their counts are in perfect agreement. The senior cardinal scrutineer then announces the results, revealing the number of votes received by each candidate. The cardinals listen intently, their expressions unreadable, their thoughts concealed behind a veil of secrecy. If a candidate receives a 2/3 majority of the votes plus 1, the scrutiny concludes, and the Church has a new pope. However, if no candidate reaches this threshold, the ballots are burned with damp straw, producing the iconic black smoke that signals to the world an inconclusive vote. The process then begins anew, with the cardinals casting ballots up to 4 times per day until a new pope is elected. The scrutiny, a quiet yet pivotal act in the papal conclave, embodies the blend of tradition, secrecy, and solemnity that has characterized the election of popes for centuries. Section 6. Smoke signals, black smoke, white smoke, and what they signify. The world watches and waits, their gaze fixed on the slender chimney rising above the Sistine Chapel. It is here, from this unassuming vent, that the eagerly anticipated smoke signals emerge, carrying with them the news of the papal conclave. Black smoke, billowing and dense, signals an inconclusive vote, while white smoke, ascending gracefully into the Roman sky, heralds the election of a new pope. The tradition of using smoke signals to communicate the conclave's progress dates back centuries, a simple yet effective means of conveying news in a time before instant communication. Historically, damp straw was added to the burning ballots to create black smoke, indicating that no candidate had achieved the required two-thirds majority. The sight of black smoke, rising above the Vatican, would be met with a collective sigh of anticipation as the faithful awaited the next round of voting. The use of white smoke to announce the election of a new pope is a more recent addition introduced in the late 19th or early 20th century. To create the distinctive white smoke, dry straw is added to the burning ballots. The appearance of white smoke, a visible manifestation of the Holy Spirit's guidance, is met with jubilation and relief, signaling the end of the conclave and the beginning of a new chapter in the Catholic Church's history. In recent years, to ensure the clarity of the smoke signals, the Vatican has implemented the use of chemical additives. Black smoke is now produced by adding potassium perchlorate, anthracene and sulfur to the burning ballots, while white smoke is created with a mixture of potassium chlorate, lactose and conifer resin. These chemical additives, while perhaps seeming at odds with the ancient traditions of the conclave, serve the practical purpose of guaranteeing a clear and unambiguous signal for the waiting world. Section 7. The two-thirds majority, a decisive threshold for a new pontiff. The election of a new pope hinges on a pivotal number, a two-thirds majority plus one vote from the assembled cardinals. This requirement, steeped in tradition and enshrined in canon law, ensures that the next leader of the Catholic Church commands broad support from within the College of Cardinals, reflecting a consensus of the Holy Spirit's guidance. The two-thirds majority rule serves as a safeguard against factionalism and division within the Church by requiring a supermajority rather than a simple majority. The election process encourages unity and discourages the emergence of a deeply divided or polarized College of Cardinals. It fosters a spirit of collaboration and consensus building, ensuring that the newly elected Pope assumes his role with the backing of a substantial majority of his brother cardinals. The +1 vote, a unique aspect of the two-thirds majority rule, holds particular significance. It serves as a powerful symbol of unity, emphasizing that the new Pope's authority stems not simply from a numerical majority, but from a united and cohesive College of Cardinals. This +1 vote represents the collective will of the electors, a tangible expression of their shared commitment to the newly chosen pontiff. If after several rounds of balloting no candidate achieves the required two-thirds majority, the conclave enters a new phase of deliberation. The cardinals may choose to hold a runoff election between the two candidates with the highest number of votes, or engage in further discussion and prayer, seeking to discern God's will more clearly. Throughout this process, the two-thirds majority rule remains a steadfast guidepost, a testament to the Church's commitment to unity and consensus in the selection of its supreme leader. Section 8, From Black Smoke to White, Historic Moments in Papal Elections. The history of papal elections is replete with moments of drama, intrigue, and divine inspiration, each conclave leaving its unique mark on the annals of the Catholic Church. From the shortest conclaves, lasting mere days, to the longest, stretching over several years, the process of electing a new pope has consistently captivated the world's attention, offering a glimpse into the inner workings of this ancient and influential institution. One notable papal election etched in history for its brevity is that of Pope Gregory XV in 1621. The conclave, convened following the death of Pope Paul V, lasted a mere 24 hours, a testament to the cardinals' unity and the clear sense of direction they received. Gregory XV, a respected canon lawyer and diplomat, was elected on the first ballot, a rare occurrence in papal history, signaling a smooth transition of power within the Church. In stark contrast, the papal election of 1268 to 1271 stands as the longest in the Church's history, spanning an arduous 3 years. The cardinals, deeply divided and facing political pressure from secular rulers, struggled to reach a consensus. The conclave, moved from Viterbo to Rome in an attempt to break the deadlock, finally ended with the election of Teobaldo Visconti, who took the name Gregory X. This protracted election, marked by frustration and delay, ultimately led to the establishment of stricter rules for future conclaves, including the requirement for cardinals to be secluded during their deliberations. The introduction of white smoke as a signal for the election of a new pope is a more recent historical development dating back to the late 19th or early 20th century. Prior to this innovation, the burning of ballots, regardless of the outcome, produced black smoke. The addition of white smoke, a visible symbol of hope and new beginnings, added a new layer of symbolism to the papal election process, capturing the imagination of the faithful worldwide. Section 9. The Future of the Papacy. Reflections on the selection process. The election of a new pope is always a moment of great significance for the Catholic Church, marking a turning point in its long and storied history. As the Church navigates the complexities of the 21st century, the selection process, steeped in tradition yet adaptable to change, offers a framework for continuity and renewal, ensuring the papacy remains a beacon of faith and leadership for millions worldwide. The College of Cardinals, comprising men from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and theological perspectives, reflects the global reach and universality of the Catholic Church. Their deliberations within the conclave, guided by prayer and the promptings of the Holy Spirit, seek to discern not simply a capable administrator but a spiritual leader, someone who can inspire and guide the faithful through the challenges and opportunities of the modern world. The secrecy surrounding the conclave, while often a subject of curiosity and speculation, serves a vital purpose. It creates a space free from external pressures and influences, allowing the cardinals to focus solely on their sacred duty, discerning God's will for the next successor to St. Peter. This commitment to confidentiality ensures the integrity of the election process, preserving the sanctity of the cardinals' deliberations. As the Catholic Church looks to the future, the election of each new pope will continue to be a moment of profound significance. The process, a blend of tradition and adaptation, ensures the papacy remains a source of stability and guidance in an ever-changing world. The world will watch, as it has for centuries, as the smoke rises from the Sistine Chapel chimney, carrying with it the news of a new pontiff, a new shepherd for the flock, a new chapter in the ongoing story of the Catholic Church.